Hi gamers, this is your Crazy Devil, and today I'm bringing you a review on Pathfinders Goblins of Golarion. I'm just going to show a little book right here so you can see it. Take a look at the back. My thoughts on the book, it's, a 32-page book. This is your typical player's companion. Nice glossy cover. Fairly nice book. Probably one of the more better Pathfinder companions that they have. The artwork, let's take a look at some of the artwork so I can show you. Pretty good artwork, pretty themed, pretty much artwork almost on every page. Full of color. Pretty easy to read text. If you're familiar with these player companions for Pathfinder, it's pretty much typical, but I would actually say this is probably more one of your better books for it. Artwork's pretty inspiring. I can dig into the artwork. It's pretty good. This came out during, they had this come out during the Gen Con 2011. I didn't get mine at Gen Con. I had ordered mine, so I didn't pick it up at Gen Con. So let's talk about the traits. Show this to you. All the traits on these are always on the front page. So the traits that these have are -2 to strength, +4 to dexterity, -2 to charisma. Goblins are fast but weak and unpleasant to be around. Okay, my thoughts on that is I know they have to match the monsters. This is supposed to more match the monster book, but I thought they were being too kind on their traits. I would probably have given them more penalties. And I guess I would actually prefer if this would balance out better. All the different races will have, when you add them all up, they end up having a +2. This is kind of equals out, but and generally the ones that, if it doesn't equal out, then they should have like tons of other additional things, and not a whole lot of additional things in comparison to other races. So all right, but let's be honest. If you want to play Goblin, you'd probably play Goblin no matter what their traits are. So I can't really complain about this. They have the trait small. Goblins are small and gain a +2 bonus to their AC and a +1 bonus to attack rolls. A -1 penalty on combat mover checks to CMD and a +4 size bonus to stealth checks. Okay, so the goblins are fast. Their land speed is 30 feet. They have dark vision. They can see up to 60 feet. Skilled with a +4 racial bonus with ride and stealth checks. Languages. Goblins begin speaking Goblin. Goblins with high intelligence can choose a bonus language, common. They give you kind of like a list of bonus languages. This is kind of, generally speaking, I'm pretty sure they allowed other races to pick common. However, this is more of a monster class, so they're not just giving away common. They give the deities, the religion. They give examples to chieftain names. They give examples for female names and male names. So they have a bunch of goblin deities. I'm not even going to try to butcher their names, but they give you a pretty good list on that. They start off with pretty much life as a goblin, which they do a pretty good job explaining what it's like to play a goblin. And they're really big on fire. They absolutely hate dogs. They absolutely hate horses. These things are like probably almost to the extent that they're their natural predators. And so they really, really hate those things, and they absolutely, absolutely, absolutely hate books, which I will talk about a little bit later on. They get into their goblin equipment. They give a pretty good, example on the goblin equipment, and my thoughts on the goblin equipment is too expensive. These things probably these things should not be as like 50 gold pieces, 5 gold pieces. They should have much more cheaper style, equipment. The idea is like how they, even getting their hands on this type of stuff. But, so I would go much more cheaper, even more just, junk if anything else for equipment. They get into, basically how to play them in as any class. Now they have every class in here, which I guess I'm a little bit against, but it's more toolbox open. So if you want to do it, this is how you do it. They give an example of a goblin paladin. Absolutely probably would never allow a player to play a goblin paladin. I would really restrict it on that. But if you're gonna do it, this is how they would probably do it. So they give you ideas. Another one is a goblin wizard. Again, absolutely I feel it should be absolutely restricted to goblins because they have this natural hatred of books. And here's a great little artwork to go along with that. Just a goblin is ripping apart a book. See, the thing with goblins is if you even are caught writing something down, that is punishable by death or possibly even worse. And that's how they describe it, death or even worse. So they give you, just all kinds of different classes that you can be. And even on the whole wizard section, the problem with goblin wizards is that they must have a spell book, which if discovered leads to goblin death or worse. Goblin wizards are most always exiled or hermits who live alone. If a goblin really wants to be a arcane magic caster, he is almost always seeking the path of bard, sorcerer, or witch instead. So even on this, they kind of describe almost that you shouldn't even allow them to even play this. But this book is much more toolboxed open, in my opinion, than the other books. Then we got into the racial traits, and they give you a pretty good list of racial traits and alternate racial traits. I would actually say, bigger list than what they've done in the past. So, and in this page, we have a nice map showing, the little, different goblin areas and how they interact with the areas. So it's a nice, color map. They talk about more of the goblin tribes and the different styles of tribes. And they're banners and, just give me an idea of some of these pictures. I mean, pretty good resource here. Despite this 32 pages, there's a lot here. You got your goblin, your goblin feats, which they, have things like dog killer, horse hunter, things like that, where pretty good list, especially in comparison. Goblin gods, they talk about each of their gods in much more detailed. Then we have the goblin magic, pretty nice stuff. Things like bolt, fire sneeze, limp lash, devastating dog whistle, exploding pocket. I mean, just really kind of cool, some cool magic. And then they get into like goblin player characters. They have like a whole 2 pages on basically goblin player characters and different favorite class options. And how the favorite class options, what they gain by using these favorite class options. And then we got basically some advertisements coming next and stuff. And let's show this picture. I think these, again, this artwork is very inspiring style artwork. Just how these goblins interact with the world. And I mean, overall, pretty good book. Pretty good book. This is, I think, one of the first kind of player's companion for a monster style character. One of my thoughts is this is not allowed in Pathfinder Society, which is a good big part of the Pathfinder game. So you cannot play one of these in the Pathfinder Society due to the fact that they're they're considered evil, and you can't play like evil characters. Despite the fact this is much more toolbox open, and where you're not restricted on the your how you want to play them in any sort of way, but they're still not allowed. Now, one day that they probably might prevent that and allow you to play a goblin, but as far as I know at this point you are still restricted on the goblins. Now they do want to come out with other books. I know when I was at Gen Con there, I think they were talking about like ogres and orcs and stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to do it like this. In fact, I think I heard that they're going to come out with a larger book of all the how to play like monster style characters. So it'll probably be a thick hardcover book. Some of my final thoughts is definitely definitely a good buy. I mean, I do have players who do want to play goblins. The class that they really are looking at is the goblin shooter. I'm sorry, I just completely forgot what the class name is, but it's the gunslinger, the goblin gunslinger. And I mean that's pretty good. We do more of a Pathfinder campaign, so we gotta kind of work some stuff out with that. So as long as he understands that it's it's not allowed in Pathfinder Society, but this is more for your your house style play. Again, I kind of wish that they would come out, allow this for Pathfinder Society. I think that would think this would be a good addition. However, I guess this does allow excuse for antagonist style of play. So I guess at this point, my final thoughts is this was for $10.99. This is a great buy, and this is local Diablo telling you that the devil's in the details. Thank you. Bye.